Lowest cost promo mix. You're leading a student fundraiser and want to promote the event effectively while staying on a tight budget. You want to choose quantities of a few common marketing channels to meet basic outreach goals at the lowest possible cost. Your promo mix must provide at least 50,000 impressions, 800 clicks, and 120 signups for the campaign. For variety, you want between 1 and 20 units of each channel. So, let's go ahead and begin. Remember, always the safe way to begin is to seed with twos, just so we don't forget. All right, so here's our different channel items, and then in each channel, what we expect to happen. 1,000 Instagram ads hopefully leads to 35 clicks, which hopefully leads to 4 signups. So these are sort of averages, and that helps us decide how much to buy of each of these. Okay, so for the minimum and max here, these had to be 1s. According to the problem, between 1 and 20, and these were 20s. We can copy that down. And then the sign looks like that because the decision variable is going to be greater than 1, but it's also going to be less than 20. So let's make this sign like this here, and then hopefully we can copy that down as well. Great. All right. And now to get our outreach totals over here, we're going to use that sum product function. It's a wonderful function because it does 2 jobs in one. It sort of multiplies each item together and then adds them up. So this is going to be the impressions times the number of channel units. Remember, we lock that second argument to the function, the second range, because when we copy the function sideways from here to here to here, we want it always to point to the same number of channel units, even while the item here changes. And then copy that across. Double check that we got it right by looking at the last one. It looks good. And then this sign is, whoops, wrong way. It's greater than or equal to. And then the mix here, the minimum that we want for each channel is 50,000 impressions, 800 clicks, and 120 signups. And our objective is to minimize cost. And so now we're ready to run Solver. So we go ahead and click on Solver. Hopefully it's remembered some of our settings from before, so it'll be a little bit smoother. Let's double check and take a look. So if we didn't remember the simplex, and then if I click on options, it does have the 1E06. No, I guess it didn't remember anything. Okay, so maybe yours will. So automatic scaling, that's good. So it's check, uncheck, uncheck. And we like integers, so we're going to set that to 0 and set the maximum time to 10. So that takes care of the options, and now we can go ahead and finish the rest of it. So we're looking for a min. And remember, if you're on a Mac and you don't have the radio button, click that the very last after you do everything else. And then by changing variable, if you have the radio button on a Mac, you can do it right now. I'm on a Mac, right? So, and I've got the radio button. All right, so by changing the variable cells, and those are our decision cells, so I'll click on that and highlight the decision cells. And now we're going to go ahead and add our constraints. So remember, the constraints, we always want the yellow cells on the right of the constraint box. So we'll put the channel units here are going to be, I know it's kind of weird because the sign here is less than, but reading this way, this is greater than that. So greater than or equal to the the yellow cells. Click OK. Add another constraint that same group of channel units, and this time it does stay as less than, because reading from left to right is less than the yellow cells. Click OK, and then one more set of constraints, which is that the outreach totals are going to be greater than or equal to the min-outreach mix. All right, that should do it. Let's try solving. Okay, we forgot. I keep doing that. Forget that the objective cell has to have a formula. Let's come back here, equals sum product. Cost per unit times the decision cells. And now let's try to run solver. And boom, it gets it. And let's just quickly eyeball that the constraint that these goalpost constraints have been met. Or is every number here between this number and that number? And they sure are, so that works. And then over here, are these three top line numbers bigger than the minimums that they were supposed to exceed or be equal to? And they are. So it did meet all of that. All right, let's do documentation. So we highlight, go to the Formulas tab, create from selection, from the top row. And remember, always highlight the column heading when you do this or it won't work. So highlight column heading in the data, create from selection, top row, create from selection, top row. And then when you're going this way, it's going to figure out that it's the leftmost cell that has the title or the name. And the leftmost cell. Then come over here and we're going to paste it in. So we click on the use in formula, paste names, paste list. Now, what happened? Well, this is a little unfortunate, but it remembered the names from the other sheet also. So now we got all the names mixed up and they're not even in order. So at a minimum, we can put them in order. So the way that we're going to do that is I'm going to just click somewhere in this table, and then I'm going to go to the data tab, click on sort, make sure it says my list has headers. So if you pasted this in the right spot, it'll think the headers belong to this. If not, then move it so that it is right next to the headers, and this works. And then I'm going to sort by the refers to column, because I want everybody that belongs to the same tab to be together. And because this is the tab that I'm on now, and that's what starts with a P and the other one starts with an M, I'll do descending order so that the P's are on top, or the promo mix is on top. And now I've got all those next to each other, so that's nice. All right, then click back into that cell, bring solver back up, and now I do, and you'll notice all the names got picked up very nicely. So now I'll do my screenshot, close this, and paste that here. And now we've got the whole thing nicely documented. We'll see you in the next video.